Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Hunter X aka Bulls, and I hope you're having a fantastic great day. And I'm back here with a brand new theory on Shigaraki. And if you guys are reading the title, it's about him having multiple quirks, which a lot of us have already assumed, but I've got a lot more into it, especially with what we've learned in this last chapter. So be sure to stick around to the end. I believe that this theory is going to be very accurate, and we'll see this happening sometime in the future on My Hero Academia, and you guys are going to enjoy this video. And if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to grow a huge community out here, so I appreciate all the support we can get and my grind to 1,000 subscribers, and I know you guys will help me there. And if you guys do enjoy the video, smack that like button. If not, give me some feedback and let me know what's going on. So in my opinion, throughout My Hero Academia, there's been a lot of references that indicate that Shigaraki will have multiple quirks, and a huge one came in this recent chapter, but I'm going to get into that after I break down the points of the previous ones that we've already seen. So one thing we can talk about is the Camino incident, where All For One fought off All Might with that final heroic battle, and we see him fight against Best Genius, and he talks about how his quirk is very cool, but it would not suit Shigaraki. Now this could mean the sense of that he was going to pass this on towards him, but I actually believe it was not that. I think it was to feed them to the Nomus. Or I could be wrong, it could be to go directly towards him, because Shigaraki has been twisted since birth, but I know that if he force a quirk onto someone else, the person will not be able to handle it. Some people might self-destruct, let's say. It's a bit like having two devil fruits in one piece. But one person we do know that has multiple quirks is Gigantomachia, and the thing is, I believe he's able to withstand it, but what the impact he took was his mental stability. As you guys seen, he's a bit more like an adult child. And we also know that our boy Deku has multiple quirks, and it should be roughly around 7 in total. So it makes sense that, you know, the person who's going to be his main, villain, Shigaraki, will have a multiple quirk clash. But don't get me wrong, Shigaraki's Decay Quirk as of right now seems like it's way more than enough. I believe that his awakening also has a connection to having multiple quirks, which I'll get into in a second. So I'm just going to break down the scenario of why I think Shigaraki will now have multiple quirks, and then I'll give you guys some scientific background towards it. And we're going up to date with all this, so I'm going to be talking about the battle of Shigaraki versus Destro. So of course, if you guys remember the last chapter, Shigaraki is fighting Destro or Redestro, and he grabs onto Shigaraki's arm, and it looks like he snapped it, but in my opinion, I actually believe that he ripped off Shigaraki's arm. And that's why what you see as my thumbnail and the image you're going to be seeing right now is why I believe that what Shigaraki's holding here is his ripped off hand. But now you guys are thinking, what does this have to do with multiple quirks and a quirk awakening? But I believe that this whole page was just a hint towards us, and we also can tell that Shigaraki is very much on the verge of a powerful awakening right here, as he starts noticing how his senses are sharpening and how everything feels much more clearer, and at the same time he recollected his memories. But here is the juicy part. This is how I believe Shigaraki will use multiple quirks as of right now, and maybe in the future he will find a new way to use this ability to do it. So as you guys have noticed, like I said, he is missing one hand. But if you guys have noticed, all this time in Shigaraki's character development, he's had all these hands, these prosthetic arms stuck on him, and as of recent we found out that these are actually the remains of his family, and that his quirk was able to do this. So what I believe Shigaraki will actually do is fit these hands on to where he's missing his hand, and be able to use that person's quirk. No matter how you look at it, it makes some type of sense. It feels like Horikoshi planned this from the beginning, and that's why we've seen plenty of these hands stuck onto Shigaraki. So it's possible that we may end up seeing what Hana's quirk is, just if he puts the hand on. And I believe that the way his quirk works, it makes it into a sort of shape that will mold into him, and that is why it decays into that form. But then a con you can bring up is, how would he be able to use those quirks if the person is dead? But I believe what the decay does is it absorbs the nutrients and it keeps it into a certain mold, just for Shigaraki to use when he needs to. Just as decay does this in real life and makes decomposition products for plants and so on and so forth. I also would not be surprised if Shigaraki's quirk, once he awakens to it to a higher level, can actually do the opposite impact of decay and stop the rotting process, which makes sense. It's just like the guy who we met, the one who looks like the ice climber. I'm not too sure what his name is, but the guy who's fighting Dabi right now, and he is able to change the temperature of his ice, and I believe that Shigaraki will be able to play with the variables of his Decay Quirk. So long story short, I believe that the reason Horikoshi showed us this scene where we see Shigaraki holding his hand is because he's lost it, and that his quirk is able to use the remains of others to infuse it into himself and use this person's quirk itself. And that's why I believe where he's sitting there saying how his senses are sharpening, it's more towards the fact that his quirk is awakening even more than it already has. And we also know that his quirk has awakened because his decay can now pass on without touching anything. But more to Shigaraki's quirk, I'm actually loving the way the decay has developed. When we first saw Shigaraki, I thought it was kind of crazy. It suited his sinister self and the way he itches himself a lot. But now that I was seeing the way he can actually grab onto people's abilities and decay it, bro, like Shigaraki's got a top 10 quirk without a doubt, and he's a problem. Like a lot of people who fight him, and especially with his agility right now after fighting Gigantomachia so many times, like I said, he's a problem, and I don't see how people like Endeavor and so forth can catch up with my guy at some point of time. But I hope this theory made sense and that you guys got exactly what I was trying to read out of my brain. This was all off my head. I didn't have no like script, so it might have been a bit jumbled, but I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope it made enough sense, and I hope we see more to this maybe in the next few chapters. But yeah, I'll have a ton more theories coming up, from One Piece to more My Hero Academia. I've got something on Deku as well, and I know you guys will enjoy those. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and the noti bell just so you guys know when I upload, and help me back to my grind, man. If you guys haven't seen my first video, I used to be on 300 subscribers, but I lost my previous channel to some BS. So I appreciate all the support we can get. And as usual, I hope you guys have a fantastic great day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.